Welcome back to Character Select, Tyler, Malhavoc.
Sorcery true, the city port of traps.
We're going to enter this store. Maybe buy some Butterfingers. You duck your head to squeeze through the doorway of the dwarf store. The proprietor is a stocky type of advanced years, who peers at you through a pair of bottle glass spectacles balanced on a long and gnarly nose.
You're not a dwarf?
He observes, with uncanny accuracy as you enter.
Yeah, no shit. I want to look around.
You say. The dwarf shrugs.
Hey, look away. You've got enough room to turn that big empty head of yours.
Alright, yeah, sure.
You browse the shelves of the shop. There's a selection of gauntlets, a potion of mystery, provisions, a honeycomb of beeswax, a small vial of dust.
I'm wondering if it's stone dust. Check the vial of
Good
dust
luck.
real quick. See what kind it is.
You lift a vial from one shelf that seems to contain nothing but gray dust. You turn it over in your hand. It sparkles a little in the light.
3 gold pieces, calls the dwarf.
But you cannot tell what it is.
The hell? Shake it?
You shake the vial. The grains inside move around, catching the light. Definitely not ordinary dust. But what is it?
Undo the stopper.
You move to
fucking
open
hell.
the stopper, but the dwarf reacts with lightning speed. "Don't!" he exclaims.
Spill everywhere, and then I'll have to clear it up.
Alright, put it back.
You sure?
Is there any way to tell? Like, I can't remember. I know that there's stone dust that can be used, but I don't know what
There's
else.
stone dust and sand.
Okay. Well, it is a spell component, so we'll go ahead and buy it, I guess.
Alright. You hand over, and we did have
Sand.
13 gold.
Alright, yeah, so it is
So
sand.
what's sand?
Excellent.
You hand over 3 gold pieces and take the vial. Then with exaggerated care, you open the stopper and look inside. It does not contain dust, but sand.
Excellent. So,
And
Well.
sand...
let's just do
As
mud. Right. Keep going. There.
Yes. So now, we can sprinkle grains of sand onto the floor to create a pool of quicksand. Fun. So, we have gauntlets, a mystery potion, provisions, and beeswax.
Check the gauntlets. Let's see what those might be.
You notice 2 kinds of gauntlet on sale in the shop, chainmail ones and leather ones.
5 gold pieces for either,
The dwarf remarks helpfully.
Chainmail's hard to make, but leather is harder to come by.
There seems to be nothing else to distinguish between them, since you only have 1 pair of hands. It seems little use in buying more than 1.
That's interesting. Which should I buy?
The dwarf looks at you and thinks for a moment, as though considering your character.
Leather.
He says, eventually. Of course. Whether you can trust him or not is another question entirely.
And unfortunately, it doesn't have a way to look at the stats on either of them.
Mm-hmm.
Shit. I guess we'll go with the leather.
Alright. You hand over 5 gold pieces and place the leather gauntlets on your wrists. You suddenly feel more skillful and proficient in your sword arm. But is that sensation an illusion? You cannot be sure.
I'll bet you the other one would have improved magic. Alright, let's get some provisions then.
Yeah. You look over the food on sale. It all seems palatable enough. A stack of flatbreads and some hard, squeaky cheese.
3 gold pieces per meal.
The dwarf says. It looks like he has 4 meals worth on his shelf. We can buy 1 or none.
Let's buy one.
Hand over 3 gold pieces, and place the ration into your bag. The dwarf harumphs, leans back, and waits to serve you.
Alright, buy nothing else.
Alright. That's enough for me, you say. The dwarf nods.
Pleasure doing business with you.
He replies. You head back out into the sunlight and stretch to your full height. Would you like to A, go over to the crowd, or B, walk on?
Let's see what the crowd's doing.
Alright. You
What the
push your
fuck?
way through the small crowd. In the center, 2 tiny creatures are grappling fiercely with each other. One is a pixie and the other a sprite. The onlookers are quite fascinated, with some cheering on the pixie and the others rooting for the sprite. You appear to have just caught the end of the fight, and the sprite looks almost exhausted. Would you A, like to place a bet, B, watch the fight, or C, help the sprite?
I guess just watch the fight.
You watch the fight. It doesn't last long. The sprite goes for the pixie with a tiny arm lock. The pixie ducks, spins around with a flying high kick, and knocks the sprite reeling backwards across the dirt. With a hop, skip, and a jump, the pixie is sitting on the fallen sprite's chest with 2 fingers up its nostrils. "Do you yield?" it squeaks. The other creature makes a yelping noise, presumably a yes. The crowd cheers, and the debts are settled up. Eventually, the crowd disperses.
So they bet on... Alright, yeah, sure, whatever.
Yep. You follow the road up a gentle rise, towards a building with a large domed roof. All the various alleys seem to converge on it, and it is thronged with people. From here, it seems there is no way around.
Interesting.
The road becomes narrower as the slum dwellings either side become more built up. Finally, it opens onto a small plaza in the shade of the large domed building, with some kind of sprawling covered market. Looking left and right, you see several other roads entering the building through different archways. A group of serpent heads are just passing by.
Hell are serpent heads? I mean, like, it sounds like a group rather than what the hell they are.
Who knows?
I guess we'll talk to them?
Okay. Greetings, you begin.
What is
this place? The serpent head looks back at you, unimpressed. It's the artist's quarters. They have to have a roof over them, or their paint's around and they complain. Nothing worse than a complaining artist, remarks the second creature.
Thank you.
You're welcome, replies the first serpent head, who appears to speak quite normally. But I'll give you a tip. Don't pose for any pictures. You'll regret it. And with that, the serpent heads march away inside the building. The market seems a confusing place. Various tracks head off into bushes near its walls. You may be able to find a way around it after all. Would you like to go around the market or into the market?
I'd like to... Yeah, we'll go into the market, see what's... like. I mean, not that there's anything available, but we'll just... Whoa!
The market is a maze of alleys. Every inch of space is being used for trade, with shops, stalls, and piles of goods set out on crates and barrels. Hawkers bellow about their wares, each trying to shout down the next. People and all manner of strange creatures mill about, quite lost, but very few seem to be actually buying anything.
Interesting.
You lose yourself browsing the stands. Most sell carpets. Some also offer incense burners, lanterns, and pottery. You can't see any blacksmiths or food stalls, however.
Good thing we got that food then. Yeah, keep going.
You move on through the market, elbowing your way between shoppers and hawkers to stand below the enormous glass dome. Through the hubbub of passers-by, you spot the exit across the hall. Noise rolls like thunder around the roof of the market.
Alright.
Would you like to A, back down the market, go back down the market, leave the market, or go to the far end?
Maybe poke around the far end before we take off?
You walk to the furthest end of the market. On your left, a man grabs your sleeve. "You want to buy carpet?" he asks. "Finest carpet this side of the backlands. Made from real moths."
What? I guess we can't afford it, so it doesn't matter. We can look at the carpets, but then we'll just bugger off.
Behind the man is a towering stack, 30 or 40 carpets high. Each one is gray and so dusty that they make you want to sneeze. A fight has broken out in one corner of the market. It is quickly settled by a score of passers-by. Would you like to go into the carpet shop or go back below the dome?
Yeah, back below the dome. No reason to go into the carpet shop. I mean, he may have...
You return... Yeah, sorry, what?
I mean, he may have offered something, but it's like, why? Can't afford it, why bother?
Yeah, true. You return to the middle of the market below the dome. Looking to one side, you spot a small artist's studio. A sign above it says, "Find yourself in here." The artist sits outside. You have a feeling there is something strange about him, but you cannot work out immediately what it is.
Yeah.
Would you like to A, look at the artist, B, go back down the market, or C, leave the market?
Leave the market. I'll take the snakehead's advice on that, just because creepy artist sitting in a corner. No, that's okay.
You turn around, intending to leave the market, when you realize that you've lost sight of the entrance in the crush of people and creatures. You wander for a few minutes from one carpet seller to the next, but you are quickly and utterly lost.
Okay, cast a spell.
You know what spell you're going to go for?
I think it's the, what the hell is it? Is it Howl, I believe? Yeah, find safe passage.
You cast a spell and a voice enters your mind, with clear instructions of how to leave the market. However, they are complicated, and you won't be able to remember them unless you go now.
Leave the market.
Striding quickly, you follow the twists and turns as guided by the voice in your mind until you see daylight.
Interesting trap.
Emerging, blinking into the sunshine, you find yourself near a tall statue, but beyond which is a wider plaza. At the foot of the statue is a drinking fountain.
Go ahead and drink.
You drink a deep draught of cool, crisp water and feel quite refreshed.
Yay. And the plaza.
The plaza. This is a paved clearing, perhaps intended for visitors to the market to tie up their horses, but if any have, then it would seem that their horses have been stolen. All around, the slum houses rise tall, squats piled on squats, emanating a thick and terrible smell. There are not many creatures about. The main road continues between the slums, heading up a low rise, and a side alley leads left.
Scroll out a little. Is there any way to, Okay, so we've got... What the hell? I thought there were 3 roads to choose from. Not 2. It looks like... Okay, yeah, so there is... I misread stop and eat. Okay, so yeah, we'll go ahead and look left.
Okay. To the left, a narrow road leads deep into a slum, but its lanes are slung with decoration and ragged bunting.
Look right.
The main road turns to the right here. It continues up the rise towards a run of slightly grander buildings. Ivy and gripweed hang from the bent metal railings. The whole place seems empty, deserted, and dark. Suddenly, out of an almost invisible narrow alleyway, a figure no higher than your knee dashes out and collides with you, sending you sprawling. They cry out an apology as they hare away down the street.
Is there the option to chase after them?
Maybe.
I guess check.
Would you like to check yourself over first? You pick yourself up and check yourself over. You seem to be in one piece.
Is there a way to check my inventory?
Do you remember what you had?
I believe I do. Check 2 gold. Okay, so we do have the noble thing. We have beeswax caps. Okay. Weapons, leather gauntlet question mark. Okay.
We don't know whether it's good or bad, so we can drop it if we want.
I see.
And 1 meal.
And other items. Okay, yeah, we got everything. Make a move. And...
Time to move on, further into the city. The slum districts of Lower Kare are dangerous and they smell bad.
Yeah.
The sooner you are through them, the sooner you will reach the north gate. Would you like to go into the slums or take the main road?
Take the main road.
Yeah, I know. The slums of the City of Thieves might not be the best.
Yeah, that sounds like a bad idea, just in general.
Yeah. You make your way along the cliff-top road, between grand houses that must belong to well-to-do types. You pass a tall, thin man in a long robe, some kind of monk. He bows to you as you pass.
Monk. Interesting. Greetings.
You begin. The monk beams at you and holds out his palms.
And of course he doesn't say a word. I guess give him a coin? Oh, he drops it immediately.
Yeah, you place a coin in his hand, but he drops it immediately, as though the coin has passed through his palm. You pick up your coin once more.
What do you want?
You ask. The monk simply smiles, his hands still reaching out towards you.
I guess take his hands?
You reach out and take hold of his hands. With burning bright eyes, he stares at you. You must find the crown, he murmurs, for the sake of all Kakabad. Then quite suddenly, he releases you and straightens up, folding his hands away into his robe. You can't help noticing that you feel strangely refreshed.
Who are you?
You ask. But the monk only shakes his head and then gestures to his mouth. Now that you look closely, you see that his tongue has been cut off, and he cannot speak.
What?
He bows his head and walks away.
What? That's interesting. And kind of creepy. It's like, what the
I know,
fuck?
right?
You must find the crown, and then it's like, oh, like, who are you?
He couldn't have said that. Who are you? You continue up the main road, which climbs gently towards the center of Kare. The road passes through the ruin of a grand building. In what must have been once a glorious morning room, an ornamental pond is all that remains. Moss grows from the cracks in its tiled sides.
Goodness. I guess go over and look.
You walk over to the pond. Despite
fuck?
its great age, it seems well tended and the water is surprisingly clear. A small scarlet fish darts out from behind the stone as you watch. Bubbles rise from its mouth, and as they break, you hear the breath of words. Something else glints from the bottom of the pool.
Lean closer to hear the words.
Kneeling beside the pond, you put an ear close to the water. The little scarlet fish swims up and spits a drop of water at your cheek. If fishes could laugh, you would swear this fish was chuckling. Again, its mouth bubbles, with a sound like... But what does it mean?
Look deeper into the pond.
Your eyes trace a second gleam. Not a fish this time, but a gold piece. Someone must have thrown it into the water for luck.
Let's try to... I wish we had a green wig, I really do. Cast a spell, see what we have open.
More sorcery.
That's what I do.
We have law. We have Dud, the illusion of treasure. We have Dop. We have How. And we have Yap.
Yeah, I kind of wish we had Yap. On the other hand, we could law the fish, but I don't know if it's unintelligent.
You can try anything.
We haven't done law yet. Let's try law, see what that does.
We have done it once before.
Well, yeah, we tried, but then Jan ate our magic.
You cast your spell into the pond, but the little fish quickly darts aside, and the spell hits a snail grazing on a stone at the base of the pond. You amuse yourself for a few moments driving the snail around, but the creature's lack of pace makes for a dull game. Eventually you give up.
Bummer. So yeah, I guess the fish wasn't unintelligent. Let me... I don't want to touch the water, because I've got a feeling that...
You're wearing leather gauntlets.
That's true. I also don't want to just take the gold piece out, because I'm trying to parse what the hell the Bruthers means.
I mean, we could just move on.
Yeah, fuck it, we'll just move on. Not worth it.
The main road continues onward along the edge of the ridge, and you hear the sound of a crowd in the distance. A narrower lane heads uphill to your left. Would you like to turn uphill or go to the cliff road?
I guess go deeper into the... We'll go left. Yeah.
Turn uphill? Gotcha. You follow the narrower road, which skirts the edge of central Kare. The homes and buildings either side are now more densely packed together. You are nearing a more busy, bustling area of Kare.
Move cautiously.
Yeah, I mean, we've been ambling around so far. Who needs to speed up, right? You begin to move more cautiously, keeping your back to the buildings, but you must have missed something, because suddenly, a hand appears on your shoulder and you're pulled backward into a building.
What the hell?
Don't be afraid, murmurs a voice.
Turn to see who it is.
You turn to see who is. A dark-skinned man with a beard of short stubble. As you look at him, he releases you, holding up his hands to show he means you no harm. Apologies to give you a fright, he says. I'm a lonely man in this evil city. You are a human, and that's a refreshing sight. Please, sit with me and talk for a while.
Yeah, we'll sit with him for a minute.
I'll sit with you. Thank you. It is good to talk in the common tongue, he grins. You look around the building, and you realize you are in his home. It is well furnished with rich woven tapestries on the walls.
I'll look him over.
You look the man over. He's a noble-looking sort, and wears fine furs and a cloak. He seems friendly enough.
Yeah, this is the city port of traps, though. Ask him about himself.
You seem a wealthy man, you remark, looking around the room. Me? The man replies. The man smiles. No, nothing like that. I used to be a hero, traveling with Glandragor the Heroic, if you heard of him. The man goes over to a counter and takes down 2 mugs and a tankard of ale. I'd like to ask you about your business, he says. Before I go into all that, would you like some ale?
What kind of options are these?
You've met Glandragor, who was the owner of the inn in Cristatanti or whatever it was.
Yeah, one of the inns. Yeah. So I've met him.
I've met him, you answer. The man goes quiet. Is that so? Didn't mention me, did he? No, he probably didn't. The man goes over to a counter and takes down 2 mugs and a tankard of ale. I'd like to ask you about your business, he says, but before I go into all that, would you like some ale?
I don't drink. I don't know this guy.
You lie carefully. The answer seems to surprise him to the point of confusion. You don't drink? He replies. But if you don't drink, what do you do when you're thirsty?
I mean, I don't drink beer.
Oh, now I seize it, he exclaims. You mean you won't drink my beer? His expression turns to anger. Ungrateful traveler, you barge your way into my home and then refuse my hospitality? Join me in my ale, or I promise you will not leave my house.
What the fuck? I don't want to get drugged.
Well, either you're gonna get drugged or you're gonna get something else. Maybe he's a wizard.
Yeah, that could be the case. I guess we'll...
Maybe it's like Gaza Moon or whatever, you know?
Alright, I guess we will accept the drink. Is there a way... Yeah, we've got 4 healing potions.
You do. And you also have MAG, the spell that reflects magic or whatever, so...
Yes, that's true. That only costs stamina.
The man returns with 2 mugs of ale, and he places one deliberately in front of you. So, let me tell you about my city, he begins conversationally. The center of Kare is built around the port, and it can be a dangerous place at night.
Why is that?
Well, they say that those wandering the streets get waylaid and captured onto slaving ships. So be sure to be settled down at an inn before sundown. He lifts his mug. your health?
I guess cast a spell. If there is a way to cast... If Mage is available, that would be handy.
We don't have Mage, but we do have Tell. We do have Sus. We do have Sap. We do have Zap.
I guess...
And we do have Fall. And we do have Far.
Let us do Sus. Sense danger.
You cast a spell and a clear, calm voice enters your mind, telling you not to drink the ale, and further, to get out of the house as quickly as possible. Slowly the voice in your mind fades. The man does not seem to notice what you're doing. He takes a long sip from his mug. The other thing to know about Kare is that there are thieves and murderers everywhere. This place is like one big prison. You have to be careful everywhere you go. Say, aren't you thirsty?
Let's see here. So, I guess throw the ale in his face and run, because if it says to get out immediately, we need to go. Yeah.
Quickly, as a flash, you grab the mug of ale and toss it into the man's face. He splutters and spits, trying to clear his mouth of the drugged ale, and you seize the moment to run away out of the house. You continue along the street, which grows narrower and more winding. On either side, slum dwellings rise high. Faces appear and disappear behind drapes. Someone throws out a bucket of slop, narrowly missing you. Furry, chained-up animals screech from balconies, and the sun disappears from view.
I guess keep going? I'm hoping there's an inn further up.
You push forwards, climbing a gentle slope. The lane gets narrower. Muck and foul water runs downhill, forming a sheen over the flagstones. The walls either side are now so close together that someone on the top floor had laid planks across the alley to steal from the house opposite. Or perhaps to steal their own things back. It's hard to be sure.
Wow. Cast a spell. Let's see if we've got Howl available. Yep. Alright, hit it.
You cast a spell and clear your mind. After a short while, a voice inside speaks that you should continue straight on and not be distracted by turnings. The road narrows further until your elbows are brushing the door frames on either side. Then quite suddenly, you reach a small plaza. By a well.
Good old Howl.
There's a small open square with a dried up well at its center. This is a crossroads, and side roads lead off to the left and right.
Interesting. Look at the well.
Once, presumably, this well served all the people in the district, but perhaps there were too many people, because now the well seems dusty and dry.
Look down the well.
Leaning over the edge, you peer down into the depths of the well. Strange, this well seems to have handholds cut into its stones. They appear to be good enough to climb down.
What the hell is this, Assassin's Creed? If anyone knows that reference, one of the games allows you to travel through wells.
Lovely.
Yeah, exactly. Let's see here. Let's look at the alleys.
You turn your attention from the well a moment to the rest of the plaza. There's nothing to distinguish one alleyway from the other, although you do see a line of what looks like blood drops heading right.
Alright, let's climb into the well.
Okay. There's still daylight left, and the lure of the unknown is overpowering. You swing yourself over the edge of the well, teetering for an unnerving moment above the long, long drop. Then you find the first of the holes with your feet and begin to make your way down into the dark. Into the well, please.
Yeah, there it goes. Oh, wow, so it's a full... That's cool. Here.
The climb is slow and cautious, and you cannot see the holds below you, so you have to feel your way down. After about 10 minutes, your arms are tiring. Suddenly, you realize the position you are in. If your strength gives out, you will fall, but you may not have the energy to climb back up either. It is impossible to see how much further there is to go.
Oh my goodness.
Would you like to climb up, keep going down or drop a gold piece.
Why does it keep asking me to drop a gold piece? Here, zoom out real quick. Oh my goodness, that is a bunch of stuff. Maybe there's, I guess, for one, we'll see if there's some kind of mystical thing, and we'll drop a gold piece.
Alright. You drop a gold piece, it falls for only a second before hitting something. Another second later, you hear a splash.
Alright.
You must be near the bottom now.
Keep going down, then.
Reassured, you continue to climb down. Do you pick up your stupid coin, you idiot? After perhaps a minute more, your foot finds a ledge. Below that is nothing but space. You have reached the roof of whatever chamber is below. A metal bar sticks from the wall here, presumably to tie a rope to continue the rest of the way down.
Do we not have rope?
Nope.
Oh no, that was in the last session.
Yep.
Let's see here. So it would need, basically the only way to go down is to, I guess, do a rope.
Well, there is one spell that would help.
Fall. That's right. Alright, yeah.
Alright, you cast a spell and feel yourself become light as a feather. Then you release hold of the wall and float gently down.
To the sewers. That thing just goes all the way down.
You are floating an inch or so above thick water in one of the city's sewers. The smell is indescribable. You're at a dead end of sorts. The water disappears into a grating in one direction, while the tunnel disappears into darkness in the other.
Look for my coin, see if you can actually find it.
You kneel and feel in the foul water and its thick filth for your coins, but the water is fast flowing and they are nowhere to your touch. You stand again, wiping your mucky hands on your tunic with disgust.
We'll walk.
You step out from the dim light of the well shaft and into the black tunnel beyond. The tunnel is filled with the worst stench you can imagine. Things splash and scurry through the darkness, and you pass a heap of black cloth. A huddled creature?
Investigate.
You creep over to the huddled rags, the shape of a man leant over, clutching his knees, but it does not seem to be moving.
If that's actually a man, I don't want to just kill it. Touch it?
It collapses at the slightest touch, and you breathe a sigh of relief. Just a piled-up cloak, discarded by some previous unfortunate who traveled this way.
Examine the cloak.
You sift through the heavy cloth. This was a fine cloak once, before it was left to rot down here. Stitched onto the back is a number 1 in a circle. Waterlogged, the cloak is too heavy to carry away, but it proves others have come this way before.
Interesting.
The sewer turns a corner here, with other tunnels blocked by filth-strewn wreckage.
Search the wreckage.
You steel yourself and dig through the foul filth in the wreckage, trying not to vomit from the stench. You come across a small glass bottle.
Uncork it.
You uncork it and take a sniff. Blimberry! You stash it in your pack.
Yay! Blimberry. Okay, walk on.
You walk on through the dark sewer when suddenly the tunnel opens into a low chamber. You stand ankle-deep in filth in a square chamber. Icy droplets fall from the ceiling. The smell is terrible. This is not just any sewer. In the corner of the room is a pile of rags. Someone, or something, lives down here.
Alright, so we have the choice.
Would you like to search the rags, look around the room, or walk on?
Search the rags.
You dig into the rags and clothing. They must have formed someone's bedding, as they could never have been clothing. Strips and odd squares of cloth of all different kinds. They have probably been scavenged from what people threw down the drains into the sewers.
I guess leave them.
Leave them?
Yeah.
Okay. You leave them be. They are no doubt flea-infested.
And then look around the room.
Despite your concerns, you stop to look around the walls of the chamber. Aside from the pile of rags, there's nothing else here. No stash of food or weapons, and no sign of the inhabitant. Then you notice on the far wall some scratches in the stone. A mark of time, perhaps. A sudden rush of water floods the chamber, soaking you up to the waist. A moment later, it is washed away once more. But there might be more coming. Would you like to walk on or look at the marks?
Look at the mark real quick. Then we'll get out of here.
You make your way carefully around the cesspool in the middle of the room, to the far side where the marks are faintly visible in the gloom. They are not just notches, but letters, and perhaps they once were full words, but seem to have been worn away by the flowing water, or else filled in with slime and dirt. It looks as though it might have once been a poem.
Read the scratched poem. This is probably a clue. Yep, that's a
You
clue.
peer at the markings on the wall, and you can make out the following, through the muck. Korga's Grace. One lock. Deep inside. I bid you. Suddenly, something growls in the darkness of the tunnel behind you. You look up to see a dark, stooped shape approaching fast. There's a rat bear.
Cast a spell. Because that's what I do.
'Cause I'm a wizard, yo!
Fucking
We
smash.
have Kid, which is create illusions. Law. Yap. Gak, which we don't have, and God.
I guess we'll do law.
You cast the spell and take command of the rat bear's will.
Good God. So I could just drown it? Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's kind of fucked up. I guess send it away.
You order the creature to retreat, and slowly it slinks away down the tunnel, roaring in anger but powerless to resist your command. Still, the spell will wear off eventually. You'd better leave this place before it returns. You have found one new clue.
Scratched poem. Okay, so it does leave it. Alright, so walk on.
You walk onwards through the sewer. Shadowy shapes loom out of the darkness, then disappear as you move close.
Onwards.
You walk for what seems like an hour, maybe more. The tunnel tilts lower and lower. Perhaps you are going underneath the river. The sound of fast, rushing water fills the tunnel.
Uh-oh. What spells do we have?
We have... looks like... Sus... Sun... No, we don't have Sun. We have Sus, we have Foff,
Force field.
we have Howl, and we have Zip.
I forget. What does, is Foff just a small force field, around you, so it's not a wall?
Yep.
And Howl is safe passage and Sus is sense danger.
Yep.
Let us do Howl again.
You cast a spell and a calm voice enters your mind, telling you there is only one exit to the sewer, and that is a long way onwards. The voice tells you that the way will be straight and safe, and with that it recedes. You keep walking. The sound of rushing water is growing louder.
I just keep walking.
Suddenly, you realize the sound is not coming from close by the tunnel or through the walls. The sound is coming towards you. Somewhere, a wall of water is approaching. An old dam must have given way, and river water is now flooding the tunnel.
Aha, so that's coming from the right, and we have to go straight.
Well, I think it's coming from this way. Anyway, would you like to shelter in an alcove, or pray for aid, or run for it, or take a deep breath?
I'm surprised their spell is not it says it's how? Why you let me down?
Well, they didn't lie to you.
let's run for it.
You turn and run for it. But the idea that you could race a wave and win without some kind of magical assistance is sheer madness, and you are punished for it when the water overtakes you. The water wrenches you from the floor and throws you into a swirling spiral. You can see nothing but the murk and filth. At least, you think, Riley, you are getting a wash.
Swim forward.
The impact is so sudden that you have no time to prepare. You only have a few moments of air left. Your lungs are bursting for air. Which do you think?
I guess swim with the current.
The current is whipping you this way and back, this way and that, like a fetal bug in a thunderstorm. This is all you can do to work out which way is up and which way is down. You fight and struggle to get your body under control, losing valuable seconds of air.
Swim up.
You swim up towards the roof of the sewer, hoping to find an air pocket to refresh your breath. But you are out of luck. Your head hits the arched stone ceiling, which is fully submerged. Even the ducts running up are filled with water. There is no air to be had down here.
Let's see if we can't pray to the ape.
Swim up a duct or swim with the current? Huh?
Let's see
What?
here. Let's see if we can't pray to the ape, because fuck this noise.
We can pray for healing, which will give us stamina.
We'll try to swim up a duct.
Okay.
Damn it!
Lungs bursting, you reach a duct in the ceiling. Once inside, it wrenches you upwards with powerful force. The stonework either side is a blur, and you crash, scrape, and bang into the sides painfully. Then suddenly, you are spat up into wider, colder water, lit from above by silvery light. You are outside.
Where the hell did it spit? What the fuck?
You come up gasping for air, about a quarter of the way across the river that flows through the middle of Kare. Night has fallen while you are underground, and all around you is pitch darkness. You struggle and flail for a moment to get your head above water, and then turn about to swim for the far bank. Of course, all of your water-damageable possessions have been ruined. Thankfully, however, the pages of your spellbook are protected. That includes our rations.
Yep, but does it include anything else?
Walking cane is fine. Our clues are fine. We still have beeswax, cloth skullcap, pouch of sand, vial of glue, nose plugs, pebbles, blimberry juice, our weapons, and a gold piece and a badge. So we just lost one ration.
That's fine. We will...
Would you like to dive under or swim forward?
Try to dive under.
You take a deep breath, choking slightly from the noxious odor of the filth-strewn Jabaji, then dive under. Thick, foul, mucus-ridden water streams up into your nostrils, and you make slow progress.
What the fuck, Steve? You're an asshole. Swim underwater.
You keep going, swimming forward through the murk. Your lungs are starting to burst, desperate for air. You have no idea how far across the river you are. Surely you cannot hope to make it the whole way across. A dark shape looms through the brown water ahead of you.
Go back up.
You break the surface once more, gasping for breath, to find yourself close to the far bank.
Okay, then get to the far bank.
You look around in the darkness. The far bank is less populated than the near bank, and there are no inns, no market stalls, and just a single path disappearing off into darkness between large stone buildings. You are too tired from your swimming to walk on, so you crawl under a bush and make camp. Hunger claws at your belly, but there's nothing you can do. All of your food has been ruined by the water.
Shit, we have Blimberry, you asshole.
We can drink those manually. Anyway, time to get some rest. You close your eyes and are quickly asleep. The aching in your empty belly gnaws at you with glee. Your dreams are cluttered and crazy. River water fills your mouth and makes you choke, but the water is thriving with fishes, each of which wants to tell you its life story. Van Gorn strides over and shakes you by the hand. "Thank you for helping me realize the error of my ways," he says. A moment later, he sticks a dagger into your lung. Finally, a black well-mouth approaches and swallows you whole. The next morning. Dawn comes and you're awoken by the shimmering light across the surface of the Jabaji River. But the idyllic morning is quickly broken as the sign first of the boats begin to sail down the river, the sailors cursing and singing filthy songs that echo between the buildings on either side. You have almost become accustomed to the terrible smell here. You follow the road away from the river towards a fork in the road. The early morning sun is beginning to wake the streets of Kare. A few creatures roam this way and that. In one corner, a spring bubbles with fresh water.
Thank you, God.
You cup your hand to the water and drink a mouthful. It is fresh and invigorating.
Alright, look around.
Looking left, a road heads through into a residential area. It seems well cared for. A short way off to the right is an open plaza. So, we can go up here, through the Red Quarter, or south through Fireview Square. Well, we want to go this way at some point, because the road leads through the necropolis into the North Gate.
Gosh, they've got my... Oh boy, get to go through the necropolis.
Oh boy.
That sounds
like
all kinds of fun. We'll go south to Fireview Square.
Yep. Move on. There's nothing for it. You'll have to explore for yourself. Sorry, what? Fireview, yes. You turn right, heading away from the city wall. The sign points towards Fireview Square. You pass large houses that have the aspect of official places of business. One is marked with the clawed fist of a moneylender. An elven woman is just leaving. She looks quite worn out already, this early in the morning.
Talk to the woman.
You stop the woman with a gesture. She looks up at you in some surprise.
You seem distraught.
She looks at you, her narrow eyes wide. "Oh, stranger," she moans. "You have no idea."
The moneylenders have not been generous?
You suggest. The woman laughs. "When are they ever generous? But today they have been cruel." She wipes her eyes with a ragged cuff. "But no matter. I should not have expected any different. But what of you, stranger? You do not look like a Karayan to me."
"I'm a traveler."
You say, "Is that so?" She replies, "Then maybe," she wipes a tear from her eye, "maybe you'll need a guide."
All I have is 1 gold, lady. That would be useful.
She smiles, the first true smile you've seen on her face. "Very good, stranger. I will be happy to help you if I can for a fee. Where do you want to go?"
I'm heading for the North Gate.
She shakes her head. "The North Gate is a long way and it is dangerous. I won't go there." Wrapping her cloak tightly around herself, she steps to one side and hurries off down the street. You watch her go with some sympathy.
I figured that. Alright. Towards the square.
The alley gets wider, and passing a long building on the left, which seems to be full of children. On the step, a lanky man sits with his eyes firmly closed.
Oh, look at him.
You pause to look him over. He is tall, well-dressed, but not healthy-looking. He seems pale and thin.
Greet him?
You go over to the man to greet him. He does not look up at you.
"Do you play swindle stones?"
You ask. The figure nods once, slowly. From his pocket, he produces a set of dice.
What's the stake? Your
life? The creature shakes his head and then utters 2 words. "Your life."
And what do I get if I win?
"Your life." The creature replies. "Play or forfeit."
Really? So he's basically just saying he's going to kill us if we don't play either?
Is that what you get from forfeit?
That's kind of what I get, but we'll go ahead and forfeit and see what happens since I do have a rewind. Yep.
"I forfeit," you reply. The creature nods once. For a moment, he opens his eyes and you catch a glimpse of a burning, fiery red mass.
Fucker.
Then a searing red pain erupts down your side. Then everything goes black.
And that kills you.
You're marched away through the alleyways to a building surrounded by a high wall. It is a prison. You are dragged across the yard and into an underground corridor. Cell doors open and you are thrown inside, landing squarely on top of another creature.
guess greet the creature.
You pick yourself to your feet and dust yourself down. Apologies, friend, you say to your cellmate. It is an elven, but he seems worn out and exhausted. The creature nods to you. Welcome to my little world, he replies.
What is this place?
This is the jail of the Red Eyes, the elven says. There's one outside, and he points at the guard, whose face, with eyes closed, fills the tiny porthole. From the sounds coming through the walls, this is one of several cells, all side by side. You hear snores, shouts, and screams coming through the stonework.
Who are you?
You ask. My name on the outside hardly seems to matter anymore. The elven replies with a smile. My name in here is number 6, and that'll be your name too. He points a bony finger. It's written on the door, see? The cell is empty, except for a bucket. Murmuring an apology, the elven uses it for what it is for.
Why are you here?
You know, the elven replies with a sigh of some passion. I've asked myself that every night since I was arrested, months ago. I still can't figure it out. I didn't do anything to upset these people. My only idea is that the Red Eyes aren't happy unless they've got someone locked away. He smiles thinly. Maybe now you're here, they'll let me go.
Do you think so?
No, I don't.
How can we escape?
You ask. Escape? The elven laughs. If there was a way to escape, do you think I would still be here? And do you think I haven't tried? I'm an elven. We're not known for sitting still. And it is true. Even as he talks to you, he's constantly fidgeting. The smell from the bucket in the corner of the room is quite terrible.
Cast a spell.
We have Hot and How, Zap, Law, Sap, Sus, and Dop.
There was a guard apparently at the door, though, right?
Yep.
Tempted to just hot him or dop him, or dop then hot.
That reminds me. We still have our inventory.
Yeah, that's actually good.
They put us in here with all our weapons, so very good.
Not a very efficient prison system. In that case, let's go ahead. Are we able to consume a health potion or something?
Yeah, we can. They do have, like, Cyclops eyes, though, if you didn't notice. Alright, we drank a Blimberry potion, we got 3 stamina back.
Yeah, that's okay. I guess we will, go ahead and hit them with, go ahead and dop it.
Alright.
And hold on a second, Parsec is freaking out. It's lagging so far behind.
We got it. Well, while we wait for Mal to fix his thing, we'll, see you all next time on Character Select. So thank you all very much for watching. Click that like button down below if you want to, subscribe, ding that bell. And Mal, do you really think this is gonna work?
Dopping it? Probably no.
Cool. We'll see if it works next time. Bye-bye!